Hi there. A very good morning and good afternoon to all of you, depending on wherever you're watching me, and a good evening to you for people in Australia and the US. Uh, I'm live here a little bit late, was setting up things, and it's interesting that the markets have probably reversed from that 12,000 levels, and we are looking at lower levels, considering what has been happening with the pandemic in Europe and US. So I'm going to discuss all about the markets. I'm going to discuss about Reliance Industries. I'm going to discuss about Airtel, what you need to do in both the stocks, and then also answer your queries. Uh, Let more people join in, and then we'll start the session. Hi, TT. Thanks a lot, Shri Vignesh. Hi, morning, afternoon. Hi there, Hitesh. Uh, Before I talk about the stocks per se, because people will be more interested about the stocks such as you can say Reliance or Airtel, I would like to talk to you about the markets and then we'll go to the stocks. Yes, Rajesh, I'm going to talk about Reliance. First, a take on Airtel. So the results were pretty good. Considering the environment and the heavy competition Airtel is facing from Reliance Jio, it feels like that the company has done really well to come up with an ARPU of 162 rupees, which is a marked improvement from last year's 128. Second thing is the kind of numbers that they have come up with especially on the top line, is pretty decent with 22% top line growth, or even more than that. I think 27-28%. Uh, Now the stock price. So stock went to 480, 490 because of that MSCI glitch, and it went up 11-12%, and then eventually ended the day at around 450. Today the stock is slightly lower at around 443, 445. I believe the stock is very 100. Uh, Over the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years, I think 800 to 900 is easily possible. So 100% upside over the next 2.5 years is not ruled out. Do not go by the fact that you could have a slight decline in the stock more, or you will see 380 on the stock. So Airtel per se at around 440, 450 looks attractive. Now the question is whether this will continue. Now the thing that is happening is people are, or large investors, in my opinion, what they are understanding is Reliance comparatively, and here I am comparing Reliance and Airtel. Reliance mobile business and Airtel's mobile business. Reliance per se, in my opinion, uh, that what larger investors are understanding, that Reliance per se has a better gamut of things along with their telecom business. That they have the retail arm, they have the oil business, which they are set to, probably OTC business will set to hiven off a little bit or reduce it to a greater extent. But they have other businesses as well. They have an option of even selling 5G networks globally that they are looking at. That's what the president or the leader in the Reliance pack has said during the AGM. So I believe that that is the comparison that people are setting in, that Airtel may fall behind going forward, and whether 450, 500 would remain as a ceiling, or 600, 610 would remain as a ceiling or not. I think that you won't see a 5, 7, 10x return in Airtel, but I sincerely believe that 800 to 1000 is very much possible, and the stock has declined 30% from the top. So these are especially very good levels, because you will be able to get something like an 80 to 100% upside over the next 3 years, even less than that. So any declines to 420, 410, 430 more accumulate more. And you cannot compare Airtel with Reliance, even with the Geo business that Reliance is having. Reliance is having a lot of money. So it's going to be a leader. It will continue to be a leader in its space. It will continue to hog the limelight. It will continue to have better deals compared to Airtel. Yes, so probably what has happened just lately that Reliance Future Group deal has gone into some sort of a roadblock, maybe 2 3 months more of that trouble, and so the stock is around 2000 2100. So what you need to understand is comparatively Reliance versus Airtel, I would prefer Reliance at 2050, 2010. A standard disclaimer, I'm invested into Reliance, not invested into Airtel. But around 450, Airtel is not bad either if you're looking for a 80 to 100% upside over 3 years. In Reliance case, with the retail arm and with the retail business, Reliance Industries, I think will continue, the stock will continue to grow between 20 to 25% over the next 8 10 years. I'm not talking of just 2 3 years. My time horizon with Reliance Industries, when I talk about the stock, is about 7 to 10 years. And whenever you're buying into large companies, any company which has a market cap of greater than 1 lakh crore and is doing business with thousands of crores of sales and profits, then you cannot just look at 2 3 years time frame, because in that a lot of things can happen. Maybe the stock would have already run up and next 3 years might be just consolidation, and when you sell, the the subsequent 3 years might give you 100% or 150% return, while the previous 3 years have given no returns. So that is what happens with something like a large cap or a mega cap, just like what Reliance is. So I won't be surprised if Reliance would be around 2200, say 6 months from now or 7 months from now, and then probably 2400, say a year from now, next Diwali, and then by 2024 it would be something like 4000. So that would be an increase of 1600. That would be an increase of 70% in less than 2 years. And that is my fear with the retail investors, that they would go for short term returns and then again burn their fingers with other stocks. I'm not saying Airtel is bad compared to Reliance. I am saying companies which are ancillaries to the telecom space, companies which are ancillary to the electronic space, companies which are ancillary to the pharmaceutical space, they will not make you a lot of money compared to the company per se which is listed. So, for example, Maruti on in a long run will make you more money than Bharat Seats in a long run. But still, Bharat Seats for me, which is a big, you can say, supplier to Maruti, could be a multi-bagger in the short term, maybe a year, 2 years. But over 8 10 years, Maruti will make you a lot of money, because currently the sales are at very abysmal levels. So similarly, in any space you look at pharmaceuticals, you have Divi's, Dr. Lal, etc., making more money for you rather than something like GMM Fodler, which has already run up a lot, which supplies to all these companies. So it looks very attractive that you play the whole pharma space, you play the whole electronic space, you play the whole auto space by buying ancillary stuff, but you will not make money. Why? Because these companies do not have the pricing power. So coming back to Reliance, Reliance have the pricing power. Reliance with its, you can say, bandwidth and with its services is doing very well. So currently I have a Geo connection and it's doing very well here at my place. I have a Geo set top box, it's doing extremely well. Streaming videos from internet is seamless, and same goes with Airtel. I'm not saying Airtel is bad comparatively, but then you have the retail arm. So the Reliance retail business is going to take off big time in the next 2 to 3 years. So taking all that into consideration, I would prefer Reliance at 2000 more than Airtel, because Reliance, with its retail business, with its a lot of stuff that is going on in a lot of investments at 1100 1200 rupees, even at 17 1800 rupees, would do fair. I'm sure those investors know a lot more than us, and I'm sure the company is going to do a big things over the next 6 8 10 years. So over 10-year period, Reliance is very good. Over a 3-year period, Airtel looks very attractive. So that is my viewpoint on both Airtel and Reliance. Thanks a lot, Manoj, for your contribution. If you have any queries, you can ask me. So this is about Reliance and Airtel. Airtel around 400, 430, very good levels to buy. 800 possible in 2 to 3 years. Reliance around 2000, very attractive. I think by 2024 end, we could see 4,000 to 4,500 on Reliance. We could see the stock double in the next 3.5 years, 3 to 4 years time. That is a very, very good return when you consider you're buying into the best stock of the Indian market or the best company in India. You're not buying a small cap and taking risk. There's very, very little risk buying into Reliance. Maybe it can go to 1800, yes, it can go to 1700, absolutely. But over 3 years' time, when you look at it, I won't be surprised if the stock would be at 4000, 4500. All right. Coming to the markets, and I was to talk about the markets beforehand, but I went into the discussion on Airtel and Reliance. So that's my opinion on both the stocks. Uh, Reliance will come out with numbers on 30th, so let's see how that goes. I'll discuss that then on Sunday. Then there is also a result of Dixon Technology once that comes out. So probably on Sunday I'll discuss Dixon as well in the live session. Uh, Coming back to the market, so 11,650, 630, 620, that is what has been hit, and then we have seen a recovery. I think the market is getting weaker. I believe that the markets could be headed lower, and I will not be surprised if the market goes to 10,500, 10,300 levels. I will not be surprised if retail investors again burn their fingers and then just exit the markets altogether. And this is what I have been talking about for the last 6 months. It did not happen. It is happening now, and it is happening with a reason, with whatever is happening in Europe. And the fear is not Europe or US. The fear is that India will have winters in December and January, most probably. Most. Although in northern parts it's already winters are setting in, but probably second half of November till the first half of February, that is the period when Diwali is there, and then there is winter and people will go out. I request people to not go out and not have meetings even on Diwali or in festivals. It is a humble request. There is nothing against any religion or anyone. It is just that people have to be safe and sound, and they can always have a meeting online, uh, talk to each other, because we have to contain this thing. We have to contain, and the only way to do it is to meet less, and to have distancing, and to have mask, sanitizer, etc., and keep washing your hands, all those things. But it's better not to get into about these things in this winter. If we can survive this, and I have a feeling India can survive this, then we'll have a very, very good future ahead, because I believe that by April we will have vaccine for the masses. April, May, so that would be summers, and the virus would be less, you can say, potent at that point of time. That is what my understanding is, with respect to whatever I have heard from the medical practitioners, etc. But take your own call, be safe at home. And if you are not like, if it is not needed a lot to go out, but if it is needed for you to earn and earn your living and everything, yes, probably do go out. But otherwise, keep safe at home, especially this winter, and keep your elderly safe. So I believe that overall in the masses, more unfortunately most of the people will meet people, and then this virus is set to increase, maybe increase, and that is the fear that the markets have. They don't fear whatever is happening in Europe or US. And so if that happens, we could see 10,000 levels, 10,300 coming in by Diwali. I won't rule that out. So do not jump in and buy at the moment. uh, Buy little bit, 10%, 15% of your total amount. If you have 100 rupees, put in 15 rupees. Any more 300 point fall, put in another 15 rupees, and so on and so forth. Thanks a lot, Suresh, for your contribution. Tell me about team lease and security intelligence services can be bought at this level. Team lease complete avoid because of a lot of reasons. If you look at the charts of team lease for the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years, you will see a sharp down tick from time to time, and it is a extremely volatile stocks. I don't want to speak a lot about it, but it's an avoid with the kind of volatility the stock has had and the kind of fall it has had over a period of time. There have been many reasons. I won't delve in details about it, so it's a complete avoid for me. SIS did well during the when the pandemic started, because it came out with the discussion on the fact that they are getting more orders for security surveillance, because people are at home, because because the shops needed more security surveillance, etc. I would say it's an avoid by good pedigree companies in the consumption space. I would say that if you're holding SIS, any jump, 15-20% jump in the stock, exit. Do not get into team lease. That's my suggestion. And probably get into pure consumption plays. They are very good large cap consumption stocks that are trading at very, very attractive levels. And I talk about them each day on my Patreon channel. So probably each week I talk about them, and I have podcasts on specific stocks. I have a watch list going on there. If you go and have a $10 membership, which you can take from the first of next month, you will have a watch list of 70 stocks which I like the most, with targets, with stop losses, with what is to be done in it, and what are the levels to get into them. So levels to buy them also is present there. So the watch list has been totally revived. Have a look at that, and you'll for sure you'll like it. So uh, be on Patreon if you really want to know in detail about specific stocks, because there are a gamut of 70 stocks, best of the best companies, with target stop losses, and what is the range, probably in my opinion, that you can get in. It will help you more getting education with respect to how to look at each stock. So that was about the markets. 10,300 very much possible. So keep fasten your seat belts for a move downwards, and probably stay calm and buy on dips. And these are the large companies, consumption companies, that will continue to do well when the market reverses, maybe in late December or so, when everybody will throw in their towel. That's my opinion. Now I'm ready to answer your queries. Please kindly use the feature of super chat and super stickers. It will help me grow the channel. It will help you also ask me questions and eke out answers from me in greater detail. Kindly do support me through Patreon. It's extremely needed. And one thing I want to also mention here, that you would have understood that over the last 2.5 years, there have been over 500 videos I've put up, 500, 530 videos. And I have not uh, although I don't say this, but today I do, that I have never taken any sponsorship from anyone. And the reason for that is I don't want to be biased with respect to anything. I'm getting a lot of sponsorship offers. I don't take it. And my only support is from you guys, from you, either through YouTube or through Patreon. And as you would understand that our income as YouTubers are through only two sources, or these live chats. And the only other way is to do through sponsorship and make money, but I don't go that route, because that really makes or dilutes my point of view. I believe that, and that's why I don't go with the route of you can say sponsorship. So kindly support me through Patreon, through Super Chat, and it will help me a great deal to continue with the channel, sustain the channel altogether. This is the Patreon link, and kindly be a member from the first of every month. So at this point of time, do not be a member. You'll be billed again on the first. So get into membership from first or second or third, and it's a 1 month cycle. So every first it will be deducted. So if you have a credit card, do that. Uh, Thanks a lot, Suresh, for your contribution. Thanks a million. If you have any queries, you can shoot it. Coming to the queries, so somebody asked about Dixon. Dixon at 9,000 is very attractive. I believe around these levels, or any declines to around 8,500, 8,400 would be good levels to get into. Taishe Industry is a very good stock. Uh, Declines, Hitesh, then you get into it. Pharma itself has run up a lot. Wait for declines, pharma IT and in pharma IT, and then probably below 11,000 get into these stocks. Thanks a lot, Bhargav, for your contribution. Thanks a million for your super sticker contribution. If you have any queries, you can shoot it through. Varrock Engineering. So a lot of people have asked about this on Patreon as well. I believe that marquee stocks always make you great bigger money over a reasonable time frame. So whatever stocks I've talked about during that talk on you can say auto ancillaries, get into them. There are others. Uh, Suprajit is a decent stock to get into. Then there are two, three others, but primarily speaking, do not go lower because just thinking that those stocks will also give you very good returns. Harita Seating is also good if things really get going on the railways front. So there are stocks, but I won't say that you go ahead and buy five, seven companies. Buy the best in the business, and you'll always be safe. So I give you an example. Uh, Motherson Sumi, yes. So if somebody has bought at 120, it's at 95, 100, but it hardly goes below 95. So it's trading between 95 and 110. You are not going to lose a lot of money even getting into Motherson Sumi. And that's why I like these companies rather than buying into companies in which you can lose your capital. You can lose 50, 60, 70% taking that risk. Why take such a risk? Let's have a risk of 20%, 25%, and the stock could still double. So a Motherson Sumi can still be 230, 240. FL is expensive. I think it is expensive. The numbers are coming in, but on the sales front, sales to market cap, it is expensive. On any front you look at it, so any 20 to 25% sharp decline in the stock, yes, you can buy. It's a very good company, but has run up a lot, as has Tanla Solutions. So somebody will ask me about Tanla. At around 300, it is expensive. For short term, it looks good, but if somebody wants to buy it for 6 months, 1 year for a target of 400, 450, I don't think it is very easily achievable. There could be massive sell off in these kind of companies if the market completely reverse. Even now, the market is, you can say, settling in. But if there is a 10 to 15% fall in the market, these stocks will fall. A Birlasoft avoid Coforge is a good company. Again, declines can be accumulated. Do not expect any huge return in the next 1 year. So, uh, Jayashri, you have asked that next 1 year. I believe next 1 year could be very difficult. I think next 14 months could be difficult for the markets, but the next 42 months will be 42 to 48 months will be very good for the market. So, next 14 months I would say if you're making a lot of money and you don't have a time frame greater than 1 year, just take money off and sit, because next 1 year could be difficult. But the problem with that is some of the stocks that you'll sell may just go up. So an Asian Paints has no effect of the market falling or anything. And so such stocks you have to be careful selling everything. But if somebody really have only a 1 year time frame till next Diwali, then I suppose that it's better to get out at these levels, because I think the market has run up a lot from the fundamentals, not just a normal deviation. Okay. Up not 50%, I would say 10 to 15% would do. Reliance, if you have a larger time frame, 3, 4, 5 years, yes, you can do. So my way of investing is that I don't buy a lot of companies, maybe 3, 4, maximum 5 companies I buy and I put in the money. But I won't recommend that for everyone, because I do a lot of analysis. Retail investors do not do so much analysis. In case of Reliance, which is the mega cap and the largest company listed, you can put in up to 20% of your holding into the stock with the way it is behaving. But be very careful. Whatever your risk appetite is, whatever you're comfortable with, you can do that. 500 at 70, that's very good. I think hold with a decent stop loss, trail your stop losses, probably hold with a stop loss of 240. If that gets hit, exit, and do like that. Just keep on trailing stop losses. Tata Elxsi is good again. Now declines to 1450, 1400, decent levels to get into Tata Elxsi. Sonata is comparatively not a better stock, although it is a decent company, but the results have not been that great compared to something like Tata Elxsi. So buy Tata Elxsi on major declines. Alkylamines I really like. I think for 2 year time frame it's good, but wait for declines to get into it. HLE Glasscoat, same opinion, declines 15 to 20% and then get into such stock. Avoid VST Industries. That would be my opinion. ITC, I don't comment on sim stocks. I don't write on it. I don't make videos on it. ITC, when it will have their consumer business separate, I'll definitely look at it in detail, but not a buy for me. Yes, you can buy Airtel at current levels. I've discussed about it. Kindly go through the session again, reverse the tape. Okay, guys, thank you. Thanks a lot for all your time. I would spend more time on the Sunday with answering more of your calls. Thank you. Thanks for all the support. From next month, from first or second, kindly do support me through Patreon. Please like and subscribe my channel. Get the subscription base higher. Thank you.